Union overtime. I worked in a factory on afternoon shift. 3 p.m. 11 p.m. In another department were two lazy guys. Their department was pretty much fully staffed, and their job was basically to clean the department, make sure raw materials were available for the next day, that sort of thing. On Fridays, the day shift were often asked to work overtime on Saturdays. Starting with the most senior employees and working down the list, these two guys were never asked. Usually because by the time they arrived for their Friday evening shift, there were enough day shift volunteers to cover what was needed. They discovered that some of the day shift volunteers had less seniority than they did, so they kept their mouths shut, and for months they recorded each Saturday that a less senior employee worked. Then they filed a grievance, stating that they missed out on the overtime because they weren't asked, and should be compensated for all those Saturdays. The company said, okay, then cited a clause in the contract that said they were liable for only 30 calendar days, as it was the employee's responsibility to bring any wage errors to the company in a timely manner. In that past month there was one Saturday that a less senior employee worked a Saturday, so they paid each of these guys a day's worth of OT. Then the company transferred these guys back to day shift. They objected to the transfer and lost, as it was ironclad in the contract that the company has the right to assign employees where they were needed. Both had preschool kids, and both had wives that worked days. Dad would watch the kids while mom was at work. Then a babysitter or family member would come in and watch them for a couple hours between when dad left for work and mom returned home. Not anymore. They had to arrange daycare for the full day at considerable expense. Mom had to leave early to drop off the kids, and dad had to pick them up on the way home. But they did manage to profit that single day's worth of overtime. TLD, or if you want to force your employer to abide by a contract, make sure you understand the contract. Same thing happened where I worked. Third shift would hustle out of the building before the overtime was posted so they didn't see it and didn't have to work. Management responded by posting overtime for the rest of the year. Teamster union member here. Absolutely. Understand your contract. If unsure, consult your union steward. Also understand your employee handbook. You have rights. So does your employer. If they had shut up and been lazy, they could have ridden out their job in comfort. But no, they had to cut open the goose that laid the golden egg. Similar thing where I used to work. We all started any time between 0600 and 0900 to accommodate for childcare, etc. The situation worked out pretty well. Then we went on strike. Day 1 back to work. Per the contract, everyone will now be starting at 0830. It's in everyone's best interest, management and workers, to know the bargaining agreements in place. When I worked in a union shop, everyone's OT was posted on the wall by the time clock. And if I remember correctly, if you were low on the list, the company could force you to work OT so there would not be a disparity in the shop. They should have brought it to management's attention when they first found out. They decided to try and milk it for free money. What I don't get is that the days were fully staffed. So, the guys could have argued that they weren't needed anywhere except the voluntary overtime. Aside from the good comments below, also remember that gripe and grievance are not synonyms. Proud member of the Administrative Professionals Association, Michigan State University. This sounds like management posting a retaliation story. If you want to F, this will teach those uppity young families to toe the line. Seniority rights didn't allow employees a shift preference? Overtime was based on seniority rather than hours worked? Sounds like a really lousy contract.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.